everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and today I've got my normal Tuesday process video. This one, instead of just being kind of like a, hey, here's me making a layout, this one kind of has an actual theme. So I'm actually scrapbooking two photos. They are both 4x6 size. One is horizontal and one is vertical. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I find it difficult to scrapbook two photos that are different orientations. I want these both to go on the same page. I don't want to have to do a separate layout for each photo. They were both taken at the same place, so they're part of the same event or experience, so they need to go together. So what do? Maybe you find yourself in this conundrum like me, or maybe you're like, nah, I never have any problems. Well, if you do, this is one way that you can get both of those photos put on one layout. And I'm doing a 12x12 layout. I'm sure if you were working with a smaller size photos, you could do this on a smaller size layout as well. But for these purposes today, it's a 12x12 layout. And I am keeping the photos 4x6 size. I have not cut them down at all. And I'm actually going to be adding a little bit of bulk to them because I am matting them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an L shape. Seems pretty easy, right? So to kind of help create the L, obviously the two photos together with the vertical on top, the horizontal on bottom, it's going to look like an L. I've also placed a piece of patterned paper behind the verticalness of the L. So that's going to add a little bit of visual interest there as well. And then it really all comes down to just building out embellishments. So the papers and things that I'm using, there's some airplane paper. It's blue with white airplanes on it. I had originally purchased it as part of my March Best of Both Worlds kit, I think. And I never used it because unfortunately we never went to Disneyland because we all got COVID and couldn't go. So I decided to use it for these photos of when we went to visit my dad over Christmas, and we came back New Year's Eve late at night. We were actually in the car driving home at midnight, and so we flew into LaGuardia in New York. And so there was a big I Heart New York sign. We're waiting for our luggage, and they had a Christmas tree up. So, it's 11:30 at night, and I'm like, go pose by the sign. Let me take some pictures. So that's what these photos are. And because to me, like, Christmas doesn't have to be red and green. I like sort of the wintry hues of blue and white and silver. So that's what I'm pulling out for this layout. So the airplane paper works with the pictures, and it works with the color scheme. And then I also had that very like holographic silver paper that I never used, which was also part of the March Best of Both Worlds kit. And I thought, let's throw it down on here because it's got like the silver. It's going to be really pretty and feels very holiday-ish, especially with the lights that are on the Christmas tree in that photo. And then everything else is literally just leftover bits and pieces from all the Christmas stuff that I worked with last year. Or, the beginning of this year, because I certainly wasn't done with all of my Christmas stuff by Christmas. So I've got actually some striped, like sort of rainbow striped paper from, I think, Pink Fresh. That was the part of the packaging for their Christmas ephemera pieces. And I really like using their packaging because it's perfect. It's really nice cardstock, and I love the patterns that are on there. So I'm just going to tuck those behind both of the photos. I had a piece of some Vicki Boutin. I believe it was from her Fernwood collection. It was already torn, and so I just tucked that behind the top photo as a layer piece. And then I've still got a few embellishments. There's a piece that is, it's got like a teal border. You can see it down there. It's going to be the journaling spot. I was trying to pick pieces, again, that were not red and green so much, but definitely had some of the blue or the silver in it. So that snowflake paper is actually really perfect because it's blue, and then the snowflakes are really shiny silver. And I think that was, where did I get that? Was that part of a kit, or was that a paper pad? I don't remember. But it was in my stash. So this is also a great way to use up your stash. Just find small pieces of paper, tuck them behind your photos, and create some fun layers. Now we're getting into more of the embellishments. These are Pink Fresh phrase stickers, and that was from their Christmas collection last year. You can also see that I pulled some enamel dots that are all blue. Those are from Alta New. I have been getting a lot of use out of those. That was a really nice enamel dots pack. I'd say that enamel dots are like, I used to think that sequins were my favorite like go-to for small embellishments, and then I was like really getting into Nuvo drops. I would say right now enamel dots are my thing. If you're making a scrapbook collection, definitely include enamel dots. And if you are purchasing scrapbook stuff, I would say definitely have enamel dots in as many colors as you can afford in your stash because they are just so amazing. There's no dry time, unlike Nuvo drops. They're not going to smear, and they come in different sizes and colors, and they're just so much fun to really build out embellishment clusters. So I also went back into my stash and took some pretty little studio numbers. I think those came out 2 Christmases ago, and I chose the one that said 31 because I've never used the 31 before. I've never done a New Year's Eve page before, so I still had a 31 in there, and it was blue, so perfect. I popped it up in some foam dots and created a little embellishment with another Pink Fresh phrase sticker. And then I also added in some very old Doodlebug. I don't remember the name of the winter collection, but it was very snowy. It had some like pinks, purples, and blues in it. So I took this little Yeti guy, and there's like, I don't know what it was, if it has something to do with skiing. It looked like a suitcase to me. So I, stuck the little Yeti guy down, and I gave him the blue suitcase because we're at the airport and we're waiting for our luggage. So I thought that that was pretty fitting. So now you can see I also pulled out some sequins, because I'm like, maybe I should use them. And you will see that I almost get to use them. I almost do it. I literally throw them onto the page, and I'm like, this is going to be great. And then I am going to remove them. I might actually remove that part from this video because there's no reason for you to see me do that. But I ended up, not liking the way that the sequins looked. I liked the way that the enamel dots looked, and then I used different sizes of the enamel dots, and they're all different blue shades, and it's just, like I said, it's a great way to build out an embellishment cluster. So now I need to come up with the title, and I pulled 2 types of white alpha stickers. The ones right there are, I think, Bella Boulevard, I want to say, and then the other white ones were just like a freebie from scrapbook.com that I got a couple months ago. So I'm going to title this one Just in Time, because we made it to the airport just in time to celebrate New Year's Eve. We were all awake. Like I said, we were in the car on our way home at midnight, so that was pretty exciting. I think the first time that I have stayed up until midnight in many, many years, and definitely the first time that my child has stayed up until midnight on New Year's Eve. So I don't know that we'll be doing that again, but it was definitely an experience. The letters are white, and there's the white pattern on that blue paper. So they kind of stand out, but what I am going to do in just a second is add a little bit of color to them just for something else, just for something different. I could have left them the way they were. I also could have inked them before sticking them down on the page, but because I like to just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and experiment in the moment, I grabbed some, I believe it was not speckled egg, the patina one, just something patina. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's Tim Holtz Distress Oxide. I did a little bit of spraying on top of the white letters, and then I did a few little splatters, kind of just to bring that color up at the top and then again around at the bottom. I really like that color, and it fits again with the color scheme of everything else that's happening. So now I can do my journaling and just kind of write really quickly what these pictures were. And again, you can see I've got the L shape going on. You don't have to do anything too extreme when you've got 2 photos of different orientations. Maybe I'll do another video and show you a different way that you could do something, but especially with these photos, because I couldn't cut them down. I couldn't make them smaller. They had to be this size. You could see the Christmas tree and you could see the whole I Heart New York sign. So if you've got 2 photos and they are 4x6 size or even like 3.5x5 and you just can't cut them down, I would recommend trying this L-shaped design and just keeping things, still remembering the diagonal line, working along the diagonal to create your embellishment clusters. that really still informs what you're doing. Like you can see I've got the embellishments for the top photo on the top left, and then there's a little bit in the middle on that top photo where the 31 is, and then it just keeps coming down to the bottom right-hand corner of the bottom photo. And it was like super easy peasy. This did not take long at all. I think probably what took the longest time was just like finding the embellishments, picking up the embellishments that I wanted to use and going through my stash. But other than that, everything else was really, really easy. And so was picking up all the sequins without smearing all those splatters. So these are the close-ups. You can get more details. I hope that this was inspiring to you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you just want to say hi. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!